Hi, in this video I will explain you the keyword private in Java with an example. But if you want to see the code directly without going through the session, you can just check out the code from here and you can just navigate to this private case one example where you can see the example for the same and you can work around the same. Okay. But I think it might help you better if I do the same thing with live coding. So you can watch this video if you want to have it interactive at least during the coding. Okay. So let us get started with an example. I will create a project from IntelliJ. You just need to have IntelliJ installed in your system with at least JDK version 8 plus and probably the Maven as well. Let us see. So just go to the file and go to the new project. Here you can choose the project name, say private access. So the location temporary folder, language is Java, and build system you can choose either IntelliJ, Maven and Gradle. So let me choose Maven this time for just just to give you the overview of just Maven with project. Okay, and then add sample code. Okay, so now we got the sample code with so even if you are not aware of the Maven, that's perfectly fine. So you just take it for granted. So basically it will create this template for you automatically where the Java, this Maven compiler source is nothing but the Java source version. Similarly, Maven compiler target is the Java target version. So the bytecode will be generated in the Java 8 and source will be treated with the Java 8 version. So now the base folder for this will be the source main. If you see the Maven effective form here, effective form, so it will show you the source directory. Okay, so the source directory will be the source main resources, that is as you can see here, source directory for Java is, and this is the source directory. So from whatever classes that you write within this Java folder will be treated as the Java classes with the package starting from this folder. Okay, similarly this is for a test. Okay, and the scripts you can forget about the rest, that's not needed. So you can just assume that here this package you can have any package of your choice. So I will make this package as just com.jk.java.explore.private keyword. Since this is the private is a keyword, you cannot use that keyword anywhere else in the package name and all. So just I have appended keyword. So if I just keep private, it will show the error. Okay, that's a private keyword, so it will show the error now. So you say move to package in the source folder. So okay, so now this package is no more needed, delete it. So now let us go to this directly. Okay, so here main class is there. I will just rename it as rename private keyword. Okay, keyword example. So private keyword example. So to better understand the whole context, let me create a new class. Okay, for the private keyword, because we are exploring on the private. A public keyword, we have seen it already, where public means it can be accessed anywhere, either it is field or class or constructor or anything. So when it comes to private, we will see that with an example. Okay, so let me create a class called vehicle. Let us see the package name as vehicles. So just to keep it in a separate package. Okay, so now let us create a field, private field, vehicle name, okay, string of type string name. Okay, so now I can just have a constructor with the name field. Okay, and now we can have getters and setters per name. Okay. So that's it. So now we have created a class called vehicle. Okay, now let us see, we can apply the keyword private here. It won't allow, because any class, if you directly declare it as a private within the file name within the vehicle, because once you declare it as a private, you cannot access it anywhere. So what's the point in having a class if that is not accessible anywhere? So okay, so that's why we cannot have directly outer class directly as with private access specifier. That is number one point. So that's why we shall have it as public. Okay, we will see where it will allow the private specifier beside the class in the next few minutes. Okay, so that is the first point, it is not allowing the private here directly. Now private we have given it to the field. Okay, so now let me go here and say so vehicle. So since the vehicle we have declared as public, we can access it here. Okay, vehicle equal to new vehicle, and the name is say some BMW. Okay, and now if you want to print that system.out.println, say vehicle name is, say let me access vehicle dot name. It won't allow because we have declared it as name as private. So if anything, any field is declared as private, okay, that field can be accessed only within the class. So you can access this name field only within the class. Okay, within the class definition, you cannot access it outside. So since this name is private, now it is not allowing here if I try to directly access it as name. Okay, that's number one point. And here I am able to access it. Okay, see this dot name, that means this name I am able to access. Similarly here the name whether I am able to access it here. So within the class, all the private fields can be accessed only within the class where they are declared. So this private field is defined within the vehicle class, so these private fields can be accessed only within the vehicle. Okay, not outside. Now if I make this constructor as private, for example, okay, now it will not allow here. Here I am trying to create the new vehicle, right? It will not allow because the constructor is declared as private, you cannot have access to it. So if it is private, you can access only within the class. Okay, that's why you cannot declare this as private and access it outside. So if you want to access it outside, you should declare it as private. I should declare it as non-private. So I will make it as public. Okay, still if you want to have some constructor vehicle as some another constructor private, you can have it as private like this, but this private constructor cannot be accessed outside. Okay, that's second point. So now we have seen the specifier for field and specifier for constructor. Similarly, now let us go to this public get name method. So right now it won't allow the name directly, right? So we are having get name. So with get name you are able to access it outside. Okay, so we see vehicle name is BMW. So now let us go back here, and if you make this get name also private, okay, so now we cannot here because this get name method is private, it will show the error. Make vehicle get name public. Since it is not public, it is not allowing you. Okay, so that is why we made it as public. So that's why basically we will keep mostly the fields alone the private. Okay, since they are private, they cannot be accessed outside. So what is the alternative? So keep the private fields as private, but give access to them through the public methods. Through the get name you can get the name, through the set name you can set the name. Okay, Similarly, the constructor anyway you have to give access, otherwise they cannot create the instance of a vehicle. So that's the thing. So basically, the private classes cannot be accessed outside, okay, and the private fields cannot be accessed outside. So private fields can be accessed only within the class. Similarly, private methods or private constructors, they can be accessed only within the class where they are defined, okay. That is a major thing. It is completely the opposite of public, okay. And if you see the Java documentation for this, so here they will say clearly private field within the class only they can be accessed, yes. Within the package in other classes, no. And within the subclasses also you cannot, okay. Within the world, outside the world, no, you cannot. So now let us see the package level access, okay. So now vehicle you have created, right? So now if you create new Java class, say truck, okay, truck extends vehicle, just for you should have matching constructor for that. So I think so super dot name, but if you try to access super dot name, say if you want to print here, okay, stum dot out dot println super dot name, okay, it won't allow. So even though it is subclass of vehicle, truck is a subclass of vehicle, okay, but it is not allowing the vehicle because name is private. So the subclass of vehicles also cannot access the private fields of this one. So this is the major important point. That's why you can see here they have said no to subclass, okay, no to subclass. So the private fields cannot be accessed from the subclass as well. And similarly, if you see the another package, so they said, right, so this is vehicles package, okay, and this is another package, private keyword package. Here also I am unable to access vehicle dot name. It will show error because name is defined in as private, so it doesn't matter which package that is in, so it won't allow you to access that in another package also. And outside the world, anyway, we have seen that it is actually another class. Here it is not allowing to access the name field, which is private. The same is the case for anything. So that's why it is unable to allow you to access, okay. It is not allowing the access to you. So this is the way. So we have seen the subclass thing, package thing, as well as the fields thing. So now let us see how we can declare a private class itself. So earlier if you try to give private, here it's not allowing, right? It's not allowing. So we will see how we can still create the private class, okay. So here what I do, I will create another class within a class, private class engine key. So this is the class name. So here it is allowing because this private class can be accessed within the vehicle class. So basically you are creating one class within another class, okay. So that's why you can access this engine key class here, okay. Now I will create first some private int id of the key, okay, and private string model of the key, okay. So now I will command and constructor you generate for it, say it is private constructor, okay. Private you cannot as a private constructor, let us see. And now command n is a getters and setters, okay, for id and model, okay. Now if you want to have access to so it is the enclosure class, right, okay. So here I will create engine key because every vehicle will have its own engine key, right. engine key. Okay, now while instantiating this a vehicle, what I do, I will create a engine key. This dot engine key, or you can straight away, there is no other one, right? You can just say engine key equal to new engine key. ID is some1 and model is say automatic key, automatic chip based key. Okay, this is the thing. So we have created engine key with both ID as well. You see, even though I have declared this as private, I am still able to access it here because it is the enclosure class. This is the enclosure class, but you cannot access this engine key class outside of vehicle. Okay, it can be accessed only within the vehicle. So now let us add two more things here, like public void start engine. Okay, within the vehicle class I am just adding that. So now you can say engine key, just system dot out dot println engine, or you can engine started. So let us see here, we add two more methods here. Okay, public void start engine, you say just engine started. Assume that the public private engine key is the controller of starting or stopping the engine. Okay, engine started. Similarly, you can just add one more method to stop the engine. So stop the engine. Engine stopped. Okay, so now when you say here start engine, you will say engine key dot start engine. Similarly, when you say one more thing, public void stop engine, so you will call this on the vehicle class, so stop engine, which in turn delegates the call to engine key dot stop engine. Okay, so basically now what we are doing, we have created engine key. So how you are, it is a private class within the vehicle. Okay, so we can access it. The name is another field, and for vehicle you just created private. This, if you want to delete this, fine. And for directly creating the vehicle, you have added that. And it is for starting the engine, you will call the engine key dot start engine. Similarly, stop engine. And this is the private class and private intent model. You just the constructor, private constructor, so it can be accessed only within the class. Okay, even if it is private public also, it can be accessed only within this one. And now you have just set ID and model methods. Similarly, starting engine, stopping engine. Now if you go here, now just say vehicle dot start engine, vehicle dot stop engine. Okay, so now if you run it, engine started, engine stopped. Okay, so you are accessing the methods of key through this vehicle. Okay, so that's the example with private class where we have defined inner class within other class. This is one example, and we can have this private class as static as well. That is the other case. We'll see that differently. Okay, so this is the basic example for this private keyword. If you want to add test cases further in the uh, Java with Java JUnit 5 as well. You can do that by accessing this API as well. Private case one. So you let me add this. So we have added. You need to add the JUnit test case, JUnit dependencies here. Okay, and then you just need to have this version defined here, and just reload the project. Now if you want to add a test case here, you can just add the test case as well. Okay, see test Java, and here you create a new class, see vehicle test. Okay, and define the package as same as that of package here as well. And here just declare that you just move to that folder, test folder. Okay, so now you are ready to add test cases here, public vehicle test. So here you can just say test public. This is the basic signature for writing the test cases. The access has to be public and return type has to be void, and this is annotation to indicate that it is a test case. And now the name of the method can be anything, just vehicle case 1. And here you can just have the same thing, whatever in the things that we have, you can just create here as well. Okay, so system dot vehicle name is vehicle stop engine, and you can assert dot assert equals you can have static import, and here you can just say BMW and a vehicle dot get name. Okay, so you are just asserting this is the JUnit API. See, this assert equals is a method from the JUnit API, and this JUnit classes will come from the JUnit jars. Okay, now if you want to see this thing, and it is coming from here, and if you just go to the external libraries, these what all this JUnit dependencies, these are different jars. Okay, and they came through the Maven dependency, that what we have declared here. So this is the group ID. So basically this is one jar. Okay, and this will bring in another jar, and this will bring in another jar, and this jar in turn may contain some other jars as well. So that is where all these JUnit things came. Anyway, even if you don't know about them, that's fine, you can just explore through this main class. So in case if you want to have test cases separately, you can just add it here for your convenience. Okay, so this is easy way, and if you run it, you are able to run it through here as well. See, vehicle name is BMW, engine started, engine stopped. Okay, and this assertion it got equaled. So in case if you name changed, okay, then this test will fail, because here you are giving BMW and vehicle name you are expecting to be 123, so then it will fail. So such kind of things you can test it through the test cases. So this is one of the easy API for JUnit. Okay, so I hope you understood it. You can straight away go to the GitHub location and download the code and play around with it, either with Maven or Gradle. Okay, thank you very much. That's it.